Hello, everybody, and welcome again to the Brit and Yankee Craft Beer Pub and our craft beer channel here on YouTube. Today, I'm back in the pub with a good friend of mine and co-host, Ken McMullen from Fox Republic Brewing in Yorkville, and he is the general manager and brewmaster. And Ken and I have known one another for some time, and you are an excellent brewer, Ken. That's all I can tell you. I do like his beers.
Appreciate that.
But we are not going to, oh, by the way, just to let you know, we are in the Chicagoland area. So we tend to focus on beers in that area. But today we've got something different. But before that, we have a sponsor. And our sponsor today is the Coffee Camp. The Coffee Camp is a fantastic small coffee shop in the heart of the south of England, in the United Kingdom, in a small town called Vinden. It's a village called Findon, so it could be a village called Vinden, but you never know. Anyway, it's down there in Findon, and he also has another location in Shoreham by Sea or on the south coast. If you're visiting the UK, please go and have a cup of coffee or a cup of hot chocolate, which is the best hot chocolate. This is not Starbucks. This is Starbucks plus 10. Okay, you can find them at 194 Findon Road in Findon Valley, Worthing, United Kingdom. The telephone number is 1903 368 298, and we like to thank them for providing us with these wonderful sweatshirts and all the coffee we can drink when we go over to visit the family. So, excellent. We're on porters today, Ken. Do you know what a porter is?
Yeah, they carry luggage.
Yeah, I knew he was going to say. Yes, you're absolutely right. They do carry luggage, and they also carry things at markets in London. Now they have the Billingsgate Fish Market. They have Smithfield Meat Market, which actually is closing down in the next few years. Sorry about that. It's been there for about 800 years, and now they're going to close it down.
Gosh.
And then there's a fruit market, which I can't remember the name of it. But the porters there used to carry things around. At the end of the day, they were thirsty folks, right? So the local pubs used to brew a beer for them that was a little bit stronger. And sometimes I think they said they used to mix beers together, but the porters used to like it. The result is what we know today, which is a somewhat, it's not as heavy as a stout. It's a little heavier than a brown ale. Would you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're kind of in between. So you're going brown, porter, stouts. We have 3 of them today, and 2 of them, we don't know what they are that we're going to, well, we do know what they are, but we're going to taste them like we don't know what they are. So we're going to have our hand model, the lovely Kimberlee, my wife, come down, pour those for us without us knowing. We'll have beer A, beer B. So we just don't know which it is, and we're going to say what one we prefer. We also have to have a baseline beer, right?
Yes.
We have to be calibrated. So our calibration beer today is from the very well-known, I think, at least in the Midwestern states, Bell's Brewery. They're out of Comstock, Michigan, which I think is close to Kalamazoo, right?
Kalamazoo.
Yeah, but it's actually Comstock, so, you know. And this is their porter, their robust porter. Now, while I'm opening this, can you tell us the difference between a porter and a robust porter? Or tell the folks.
Generally, robust porter is a much heavier, maltier.
Don't tell me it's more robust. Okay.
There you go.
But yeah, so why is it more robust? I mean, what makes it more robust, I guess, Ken?
It's more malt. It's the more malt you put in, the more alcohol you get out of it, the more flavor you get out of it.
And that is poured beautifully, don't you think? Almost looks like a damn Guinness, doesn't it?
Well, I would say no.
Okay.
Yeah, Guinness, you're gonna get that like white, almost white, like a
frothy, creamy,
I'm trying to say like a priest's collar, you know.
Oh yeah,
at the top of their black.
And I tell you what, the priests almost like to have a pint of Guinness. So I tell you that, right? Anyway, back to porters. This is a fantastic looking beer. I've got a little bit more head than you, if you'll pardon the expression. And, you know, this is what we're going to be using as a baseline. So how about the aroma? Oh, yeah, you can smell, you know, In our last episode, we did brown ales, and you could really get kind of a maltiness, but there was a certainly different malty nose to it. This is roastier. Would you not think? Yeah. And this, it says actually, this award-winning Bell's Porter bridges the gap between, oh, hey, I didn't even know this, bridges the gap between malty brown ales and heavily roasted stouts. Boy, I know what I'm talking about, right? So this is something that is 5.6% by alcohol. I think the porters we're going to do today are going to run the gamut a little bit of down low to quite high. And we'll get to that in just a second. So let's taste this. Oh, hang on. Cheers.
Cheers.
We don't get a good clang when you've got a full pint, but... Clean. Not as roasty as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, generally they're going to be, you're going to have that like dark roast malt, but you're not going to get that roasted barley bitterness like in a stout. You get more of a sweet, and this is a lighter body than I expected.
I think it's lighter body than I thought, but this is chosen as one of the standard baseline commercial examples by the BJCP, which is the Beer Judges Certification Program. And other ones in there are Fuller's London Porter, which is getting more and more difficult to find. And then something that I kind of like, which is Old Slug Porter. And I have had that old RCH, I don't know what RCH stands for. RCH Old Slug Porter, which is really quite heavy. Now this, it's very non-offensive, wouldn't you say? Just a well-made beer.
It's not as creamy as the brown ales that we just finished.
Right. In the last episode.
Right. Yeah, it's a little...
Anyway, but it's a good one, right?
Yeah, very nice.
Very nice indeed. Right.
Enjoyable.
We're going to take a very short break, and we're going to get a hand model down to pick out one of the beers, A or B, and then we'll compare that to what we've got here. I'm going to tell you exactly what they are when we come back in just a second. And we're back, and our hand model is going to be bringing us the beers just a second, but we want to find out a little bit more about the history of porters, and that was developed in the 1700s, and it is a more heavily hopped and aged version of brown ale. And I think our beer number A is coming in now. Here comes our hand model. I'll move the baseline beer over there. Thank you. That's fantastic. One for you, Ken.
Thanks, sir.
And one for me. Fantastic. Thank you.
Kimberlee.
You're welcome.
Very nice pour.
Good. Nice pours. Very good. Now, so this is beer A. Now, what is beer A and BB? Well, I'll tell you. One of them is going to be Sam Smith's Taddy Porter. And that's a classic from Yorkshire. The second beer is going to be one from the Midwest, St. Louis, Missouri, and Urban Chestnut Brewing. And they have done something called a German porter. Now, on the back of the can, because I never heard of a German porter, had you?
Mm-mm.
No. On the back of the can, it also says it is a Stark beer. And I didn't know what a Stark beer was, but you looked it up.
Yeah, it just means a strong beer.
A strong beer. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
And so what we need to do is give this a quick look and a taste. And then while our hand model is pouring beer B. Okay, this one is black, isn't it, really?
You can actually, if you hold it up, you can kind of see through it.
A little bit, yeah. It's pretty heavy. The head, it's
really nice
coffee colored.
Dark caramel notes.
Caramel notes in this one? Oh, yeah.
It's really
cool. Oh, wow. That's interesting. So, wow, that is quite delicious.
You ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Completely different
Man, that's a
to
meal.
our baseline.
It's a meal in a glass, isn't it?
And it's a meal in a glass. There we go. Now, interestingly, in my notes here, it does say that British porter differs from American porter, which I guess you could classify urban chestnut being in St. Louis, as it usually has a softer, sweeter, and more caramelly flavor. So maybe what we have here in beer A is a Taddy Porter. Hand model, would you please bring in beer B? It's on its way. So we'll put that one right there. Here we go. Oh, look at this. You've got a beautiful head on that one there, Ken. Oh, and I've got a lovely one too. Thank you so much. There's the hand model going away. I love it. There we go. Cool.
Beautiful.
Excuse me. So beer B, I think, is just as dark.
Yeah, I can still get
The question that you have... Oh, sorry.
I still get a little. You can see through it if you hold it up to a bright light. And
We need one of those lights, the things that goes through
beautiful.
there. I think in terms of comparison, if we hold them up there, they're pretty much similar, to the naked eye, if you will, without the light going through it. How about the aroma on B? A little less caramelly, more, it's actually more brown ale-y.
Yeah, it's not as. It doesn't have that like caramel malt note. It's more of a dark
There we go.
toast.
Yeah, let's see what we
nutty,
get here.
Toasty. It's a little drier. It's delicious.
I think the body's a bit lighter, isn't it?
Lighter bodied. It's
Is it?
drier.
Yeah. So the question that we asked ourselves was, what was a German porter? Well, according to Urban Chestnut, it's a version of a classic stout beer, which is a strong beer. And in Beer Advocate, they class this one as a Baltic porter. Now, a Baltic porter can be either an ale, I think I'm correct, an ale yeast or a lager yeast.
I think most of them are lagers now. I think they originally were ales, but
Okay.
they've kind of evolved. And I mean, generally it's a lager.
And they were brewed, my understanding is that Baltic porters were brewed after the India Pale Ale market dropped out in the mid-1800s, and they had to brew something else, and so they found something that was really strong to take out to the Baltic porters. The stronger it was, the better the preservation of that beer when it went that long distance to the Baltic states. This is only 7%. Well, one of them is only 7%. I don't know which one it is, but I've got an idea now that we've read some of the descriptions of what we have had here. I think that Urban Chestnut. I'm going to say that Urban Chestnut is probably the beer. Which one did we have first? I've forgotten now.
The A.
Oh, A was. Of course, there we go. So B, I think, is the Urban Chestnut, and I think A is the Taddy Porter. We'll find that out in a minute. Urban Chestnut, incidentally, about 3 months ago, and we're recording this December of 2024, they filed for bankruptcy. But apparently they have found an investor who is willing to take over their debt of some $4 million. But Urban Chestnut is always and has always been a really good brewery. The brewer out there is a guy by the name of Florian, and I can't remember his last. Oh, Florian Kuplent, and he came from Germany. I think he trained at Verheinstephaner. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, Verheinstephaner. So he knew what he was doing when he was brewing. But breweries are having a hard time these days, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a lot of breweries.
A lot of breweries, and prices are going up. Anyway, which one of these then, Ken, do you prefer? I'm going to say I prefer A because of that caramelly note.
I'm going to struggle with this because they're both excellent, but they're very different.
Yes.
Like if I was going to be drinking several beers, the body of this feels lighter. This is B.
Yep.
And I could drink a lot of these. This one has more leftover sugars, more residual sugars in it.
Which is A.
I think it's A. So I think because of my personal drinking habits, the lighter one,
Okay.
which you're probably going to tell me.
Well,
it's
you're
like-
going with the lighter body one, but the heavier ABV, because you're going 7% versus 5 point whatever it was, 6 or something.
So you know which is which?
No, I don't yet.
You're guessing.
We're going to take a break and we'll find out. Back in 10 seconds. And we're back, and I've got the beers here. And as you see, one of them comes in a can, one comes in a bottle. Well, let's see what we've got. So beer in the bottle is beer A, and that comes from Sam Smith's. It is their Taddy Porter, brewed out of Tadcaster, hence the Taddy bit. And that is beer A, which is the one that I preferred. And beer B, obviously, is the Urban Chestnut German Porter, which is brewed out of St. Louis, Missouri, and that's the one you preferred. So I think what we have here is a transatlantic palate difference.
Yeah.
But I have to say,
we each picked our own continent, right?
we did, yeah, which is better than
Continent
picking your own
origin.
nose. But anyway, but you know, neither of these beers are excellent beers. I would say that I've never tasted a German porter, start beer, whatever you want to call it, before. So that was a challenge for me. I think it's nice. I think it's well made. It's got everything in it that you might enjoy. Is this the one I got? Yeah, B. I can't tell now. And I think it differs to our baseline beer, the Robust. I think the Robust Porter from Bell's, again, if you look back at our last video on brown ales, this one is more balanced and mediocre, if you will, and I mean mediocre in a nice way. You know, it's medium everything. The German comes in and gives you a little kick up in the ABV. The Tadcaster Porter, or the Taddy Porter, just gives you that caramel,
Well, that's just
caramelly sweetness to it. So you like it a
Yeah.
little sweeter.
I like it. I like this one is a little lighter. I can't believe it's 7%.
Hey, there you go. Well, I'm going to give both of these beers a ding. I didn't
Yeah.
do that on the last episode. There we go. Thank you very much. Ken, thank you for being with me. And again,
thanks
we'll
for
see if
having
we
me.
can do this.
Right on.
A quad cheers. So it's cheers, Ken.
Cheers, Phil.
Oh, that came out nice. We'll be back with another edition of the Brit and Yankee Craft Beer Channel Instant Brew Review, just as soon as we find some beers to taste that we think you should taste. In the meantime, take care. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.